used to think that the British Raj was very strong and also was working towards the progress of our nation. This was a hoax which was created by British Raj. This illusion was dismantled by many factors like the rise of Indian intelligentsia, introduction of Western education within a society, and also the outside effects like when Japan defeated Russia, and also Gandhi's insight about the exploitative nature of British Raj. Leaders like Dadabhai Naoroji, M.G. Ranade, and many others, with their theory of drain of wealth, shed a light on how British were successfully looting our nation for its resources. There was an article which was there in Karachi Chronicles in 1905 said, "What one Asiatic has done, others can do. If Japan can rub Russia, India can rub England with equal ease, and let us drive the British into the sea and take our places side by side with Japan." There was a radical phase of revolutionary nationalism to political activities which started emerging in 1890, and it took a concrete shape in 1905. It will be wrong on our part to refer this phase as militant nationalism because the people involved here were revolutionaries, not militants. A radical trend of revolutionary nationalist approach to political activity started emerging in 1890s. It took a concrete shape in the year 1905, and it will be wrong on our part to refer this phase as militant nationalism because the people or the leader involved were not militants, they were nationalist and revolutionary. The nationalists were wide awake of the fact that instead of giving more rights to the Indians, the government was taking away even the existing ones. In 1892, the Indian Council Act was criticized by the nationalists as it failed to satisfy them. In 1897, the Natu brothers were deported without the trial, and Tilak and the others were imprisoned on the charges of sedition. Also, in 1898, repressive laws under IPC section 124A were further amplified with new provisions under IPC section 156. In 1899, number of Indian members in Calcutta Corporation were reduced. In 1904, Official Secret Act curbed the freedom of press, and also Indian University Act in the same year ensured greater government control over the universities, which is described as factories producing political revolutionaries. There was a growing faith in self-effort. Leaders like Tilak, Aurobindo, Bipin Chandra Pal repeatedly urged the nationalists to rely on the character and capacities of the Indian people. The myth of British invincibility was broken. Excavation of the IVC gave moral boost to the commoners. The growth of education also played an integral role in this era. The positive of growth of role was the increased awareness among the masses, but the negative part was the rise in unemployment and underemployment among the educated. The remarkable progress made by Japan after 1868 and its emergence as an industrial power opened the eyes of Indians to the fact that economic progress was possible even in an Asian country without any external help. The defeats of the Italian army by the Ethiopians in 1896, the Boer Wars of 1899 to 1902, where the British faced the reverses. Also, Japan's victory over Russia in 1905 demolished the myth of European invincibility. Also, our nationalists were inspired by the nationalist movement worldwide in Ireland, Russia, Egypt, Turkey, Persia, and China. The Indians realized that a united people willing to make sacrifice could take the mightiest of the empires. The new leadership also reacted towards the increased westernization. They felt strong hold of excessive westernization and sensed the colonial design to submerge the Indian national identity into British Empire. Intellectuals like Swami Vivekanand, Bankim Chand Chatterjee, Swami Dayanand Saraswati inspired many young nationalists with their force and articulate arguments. Dayanand Saraswati also gave a political message, India for Indians. The younger elements within the Congress were dissatisfied with the achievements of moderates during the first 15 to 20 years. They were strongly critical of the methods of peaceful and constitutional agitations, popularly known as 3 Ps, which were prayer, petition, and protest, and also described these methods as political way of survival. A sharp reaction was created in the Indian minds by the Curzon's 7-year rule in India, which was full of missions, commissions, and omissions. He refused to recognize India as a nation and also insulted the Indian nationalists. The administrative measures adopted during his rules were the Official Secret Act, the Indian University Act, the Calcutta Corporation Act, and above all, the Partition of Bengal. This left no doubt in Indian minds about basically reactionary nature of the British rule. By the dawn of 20th century, a band of nationalist thinkers had emerged who advocated a more so-called militant approach of political work. These trained leadership included Rajnarayan Bose, Ashwini Kumar Datta, Aurobindo Ghosh and Bipin Chandra Pal in Bengal, Vishnu Shastri, Chiplunkar brothers and Bal Gangadhar Tilak in Maharashtra, Lala Lajpat Rai in Punjab. The ideology of this school were hatred for the foreign rule, Swaraj to be the goal of national movement, direct political action required, belief in the capacity of the masses to challenge the authority, and also personal sacrifices required and a true nationalist to be always ready for it. Now we will look at the partition of Bengal. As said by Risley, the Home Secretary to the Government of India in 1904, Bengal united is a power, Bengal divided will pull in several different ways. One of our main object is to split up and thereby to weaken a solid body of opponents to our rule. The anti-partition campaign under the moderates from the year 1903 to 1905, the leadership was provided by the men like Surendranath Banerjee, K. Mitra and Prithvish Chandra Rai. The method adopted by them were petitions to the government, public meetings, memorandum and propaganda through pamphlets and newspapers like Hitabadi, Sanjibani and Bengali. In the year 1905, ignoring a loud public opinion, the government announced the partition of Bengal in July. In retaliation to the split of Bengal, on August 7, 1905, with the passage of the boycott resolution in Calcutta Town Hall, the formal proclamation of Swadeshi movement was made. The leaders propagated the message of boycott of Manchester clothes and Liverpool salt. October 16, 1905, the day the partition formally came into force, was observed as a day of mourning throughout the Bengal. The Indian National Congress, in a meeting in 1905 under the presidency of Gokhale, resolved to condemn the partition of Bengal and the reactionary policies of Curzon. They also supported the anti-partition and Swadeshi movement of Bengal. The militant nationalists led by Tilak, Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal and Aurobindo Ghosh wanted the movement to be taken outside Bengal and to the other parts of the country. They also supported full-fledged political mass struggle with the goal to attain Swaraj. But the moderates dominated the Congress at that time, and they were not willing to go that far. In the Congress session held in 1906 under the presidency of Dadabhai Naoroji, Indian National Congress took a big step and also declared that the Indian National Congress was all about self-government or Swaraj like the United Kingdom or the colonies of Australia or Canada. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. For more videos, please subscribe our channel.